Hi fashion lovers, you're welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I sewed this scallop neckline overbust corset. I already shared the pattern drafting tutorial a few days ago, so if you're seeing this video and you haven't watched that one yet, I'll leave the link in the description box for you to check it out. This video is focused mainly on the sewing process and how everything comes out together. If you find this tutorial helpful, please do well to like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So before we start sewing, let me quickly explain the pattern pieces I've already drafted and cut on fabric, including the sewing allowance, so you understand exactly how everything works. So I went ahead to cut my center front pieces, which is the first part on fold, added half-inch seam allowance on the neck and also on the corset seams. I did not add any allowance to the hem because I wanted to maintain the length of the corset. Then for the side front, I added half an inch seam allowance on the corset seams, the armhole area, and the side part. I also did not add allowance to the hem of the corset for all the pieces. So as you can see that I cut my lining and my main fabric using my pattern, and I also iron interfacing on both the lining and the main fabric. For the center back pieces, I only added half-inch seam allowance on the corset seams and the side piece. I did not add to the top and the bottom. The reason is because I want to bias the top, and it is not going to be like the front part that I will turn it with lining. So in the course of the sewing process, you understand exactly what I'm doing. Then I also iron interfacing to my lining and my main fabric. I use ST, by the way, for my interfacing. So next thing, I'm going to take out my front pattern pieces and I'm going to show you how to stitch the pattern pieces together. So I'm going to be stitching my lining and main fabric separately. And before I keep my lining aside, I want you to take note of something. I'm going to be doing bust caging on the lining part. So for that reason, I added another layer of ST that stopped on the underbust because that is where my bust caging is going to stop at. So I'm going to keep my lining pieces aside and then show you how to stitch my front pieces. So I'm going to place them front side facing each other like this. And then I'll start stitching from the hem all the way to the top. So you're going to pin from the hem all the way to the underbust. Then when you get to that curve area, you're going to align the both fabrics together. So I'm not sewing with my pins, I'm just using it as a guide. But just ensure that your both fabrics align together on the top and the bottom. And then you're just going to stitch following the curve shape all the way to the hem. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. And I'm also going to do the same thing for my lining piece. Then after stitching, I'm going to iron the seams open to make it relax. And then for the back pieces, I will take out my pattern. Before you take out your pattern, ensure that you've notched your fabric, okay, so that you don't confuse on the pattern pieces. So I open up my pattern this way and I'm going to align them together and then just place them front side facing each other and then stitch. So the back is just a straight stitch. I will take it to my sewing machine and stitch with half an inch. I'm just going ahead to pin the both pieces together so that I don't confuse on my pattern pieces. Then after stitching all the pieces together, I will open up the seams and iron to give it a good press. So the next step is to wrap and insert the bonings. I'll show you how to wrap your bonings. First of all, you're going to get a 2 inches fabric strip. You can use any fabric of your choice. And then I have this 12 mm sewable boning, which is best for sewing your corset lines, for snatching your waist. Okay, so you're going to place your boning, your sewable boning, on the edge of your fabric strip and then just go ahead to stitch from the top to the end of your strip. So guys, just take note of the way I am stitching it. I'm stitching my boning on the front part of my fabric, not the back. Okay, so after stitching to the end, I'm going to cover up the boning with a strip, ensure that it is well covered. And then after covering it, I'm going to stitch on one end of the boning. So this is what it's going to look like after you wrap it. I'll stitch on one end of the boning and then I'll be trimming off the excess later when I'm done. So after top stitching the boning, this is what it looks like. So I am going to trim off the excess fabric and this is what we are going to have as our wrapped boning. So you can see that on one side the boning is still showing and this part is going to serve as the back. So after I finish trimming it off, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to take it to my ironing table to iron it well to make it flat and relaxed. And that is how you achieve a wrapped boning for your corset. So after wrapping my bonings, I went back to my corset pieces already sewn and ironed. So this is what it looks like. For the front part, I notched the underbust and I used my bust arm to iron the bust area to give it that curve. So I also do the same thing for my lining. I iron the back neatly. I also notch the underbust for the lining, and then I use a bust arm to iron the bust area, okay, because it is curvy, it is not straight. So you need to add a bust arm underneath it to iron the seams open. So the next thing I want to do now is to mark my bust caging lines and go ahead now to do my bust caging. So I'll be using a marker to mark the lines to make it visible. First of all, you're going to get your bust points, nipple to nipple divided by 2. And in this case, I have 3.75. Then you're going to add 1 inch to whatever you got to the side part. So on the side part, I measured 4.75, as you can see on both sides. Then I connected to my underbust. I drew a curved line to my underbust, okay? So that is the first line you're going to mark. So I'm going to explain again. First of all, your bust span, which is your nipple to nipple divided by 2. You're going to bring it to the side, starting from your nipple point, and then add 1 inch to whatever you have. So I marked 4.75 in this case, and then I connected to my underbust. I just drew a curved line, just like you can see me doing. Next, I came down by 1 inch from my armhole. I also came down by 1 inch from that point on my scallop neckline, okay? Because my boning is not going to get to the top. So I'm going to draw a curved line on all the points that I marked. I'm just going to connect it together to draw a curved line. So the reason for doing that is because I don't want my boning to get to the top so that it doesn't give me issues when I want to turn the neckline, okay? So this is why my boning is not going to get to the top of my corset. And then you're going to have another boning on your corset seam, which is your bust span area. Then you're also going to have another boning on the middle seam, okay? So you can just go ahead to mark as many vertical lines as you want. Then for the side part, I divided what I have on that space into 2. So that's just basically it. Then for the horizontal line, just go ahead to draw as many horizontal lines as you like. There is no specific measurement for it, but you don't need to do too much, okay? So this is what I have for my bust caging lines. So then for the scallop shape, I'm going to sew my boning, just that center piece. I will sew my boning to the top, but it will get to the very, very top, okay? I also came down by 1 inch from that point. So those pointy parts for my scallop neckline, I'm going to sew my vertical lines to get to that top, okay? I just hope you understand what I'm saying. But I personally know you're going to get it very well. All you need to do is get your surrounding base, which is the top curve line and the bottom, and then get your vertical and horizontal lines. So I kept it aside first, and let me go ahead to sew my wrapped boning onto my corset main fabric. So I'm going to place my boning channel onto the seam line of the back, and I'll just top stitch it on both sides. Then after doing that, I'll cut the excess of the boning, and then you can also create as many boning channels as you like, okay? So before I go ahead to stitch my boning on the front part, I'm going to first of all create my boning channels, the several lines I want to sew my boning on. I'm using my marker because of tutorial purpose and because the boning is going to cover it up afterwards. So first of all, I'm going to have a boning channel on the middle part of my corset. I'm also going to have another boning channel on the seams, okay, the seam line. Then on the side part, I divided what I have from the seam line to the side part of my corset, and then I marked the midpoint as another seam line or another boning channel rather. So just go ahead to be creative. You can mark as many boning channels as you want. You can also do few boning channels, whatever you want. So after marking the lines, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and show you how to stitch the boning to your corset. So guys, I've already started stitching some of the bonings onto the boning channels. So I'm going to show you exactly how I achieved that. First of all, you can see that on the top of my corset, the boning did not get to the top. So what I'm going to do is to lose a bit from my wrapped boning and cut out about half an inch on the top. Then I'm going to just place my wrapped boning onto my boning channels. So this way, when I want to turn my lining, the boning is not going to make it difficult for me to turn the lining, okay? So this is the reason why you have to remove about half an inch from your boning before you go ahead to top stitch your wrapped boning to it, okay? If you're sewing your sewable boning onto the inside of your corset, you are also going to do the same process. Let your boning not get to the top, okay? That top is your seam allowance that you're going to use to turn your neckline. So I really hope you understand what I'm saying. So you're just going to top stitch your boning on one side. When you're stitching, ensure that your fabric is well relaxed. You're going to use your hand to spread it open to make sure that it is well relaxed, that it doesn't have bubbles under. So when I manage to stitch on one side till I get to the end, I'm going to top stitch on the other side. So that's basically how to fix your wrap boning. So next thing we're going to do is the bust caging. So for the bust caging, I'm making use of a 6 mm boning. So remember that when we were sewing our corset lines, which is the wrapped boning, we use a 12 mm boning. But for this caging one, we're using a 6 mm boning, which is the smallest sewable boning. That is the perfect boning for caging your corset. So I'm going to start by stitching the vertical lines, okay? So you can see the way I place my boning. My boning is curved facing up. So this is how you're going to stitch your boning. Ensure that your boning did not get to the top of your, which is the neckline of your corset, okay? Because we need that allowance to turn the neckline neatly. So I'm just going to stitch my boning and then stop at the underbust line. When I stitch on one side, I'll go ahead to stop stitch on the other side. So guys, after stitching, this is what the front part should look like. Ensure that it doesn't have any bubbles. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So after sewing the boning for the vertical lines, I didn't sew all the lines I marked. I only focused on three major areas, which is the center line and the two bust seams. So you don't need excessive boning for a proper bust caging, except you're making for a very busty person. The number of boning does not determine how well a corset is caged. It actually starts from accurate pattern drafting. And then I moved on to sewing the horizontal boning. For the vertical and the horizontal lines, the boning is placed curved facing upward, okay, following the bust shape. I stitched along the marked lines, sewing from one point to the other and stopping at the underbust curve. I repeated the same process for the second line. So guys, this is what we have now for our bust caging so far. The next thing we're going to do now is to stitch the boning on the surrounding. So for this part, I placed my boning curved facing down. Remember the vertical and the horizontal lines, my boning was curved facing up. But for this surrounding part, for the top line and the underbust line, your boning is going to be curved facing down, okay? So that is how you get a well structured cage corset. So after stitching the boning on the top line, I stopped at the underbust curve and I'm going to stitch another boning around the underbust line, okay? I'm still going to be doing the same process. Place my boning curved facing down. So guys, after caging my corset, this is what it looks like. You can see that it is already curving and standing on its own. It's not looking flat. So if you've ever have an issue with flat bust after caging your corset, or you don't know how to cage a corset properly, give this technique a try and let me know how it turned out. So after I finish caging my corset, next thing to do is to iron and mold it. So even though the thing came out curving, we still need to mold it and iron it so it will give more depth, okay? So this is how you mold your corsets. You're just going to fold your boning this way and give it a good press. If you have a steam iron, it will be more preferable. So I place my bust arm on each part of the bust seams and I'm using water and my dry iron to give it more steam that will make it curve very well. So guys, after I finish ironing and molding my caging, the next thing to do is to flesh it. This is also another important thing you need to know how to do. So I'm using fiber to flesh the bust caging. Some people use ST. So I went ahead to place my fiber underneath the caged area of my corset and I'm using my pins to secure it. So I'm just going to spread the fiber around the caged area and then pin it. Then after I'm done pinning, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and stitch along the initial stitch of the underbust and also the stitch on the top area. So my stitching is not going to get to the scallop neckline. I'm just going to stitch on the boning, the curved boning that I have on the top and also the curved boning on the underbust. So guys, I'm done stitching the fiber to the caged area of my corset. Next thing I did was to trim off the excess. So you're going to trim off the excess very close to your boning. So after trimming off the excess, I'm going to iron and mold the bust caging to give it a smooth finish. So guys, for the boning that got to the scallop neckline area, because I was not able to sew my fiber to that top, what I did was to use hemming gum and I placed some layers of fiber. I'm not going to make that part too thick. I just place few layers of fiber on it and I'm going to iron that part, okay? So this is going to make it more smooth and relaxed. Ensure that your fleshing, which is your fiber, doesn't get to the edge so that it will not be too thick when you want to turn your neckline. So for the molding, I did the same process. I just placed my bust arm underneath and then iron the bust seams and I iron the middle part. So just give it a good press using your bust arm, of course. Then when you're done, you're going to have a well caged corset standing on its own. So after I finished molding my bust caging, I brought the main fabric of the front and I'm going to place it on top of my lining like this. And go ahead to pin all the sides to make sure that it is equal. If it's not equal, you're going to trim off the excess allowance from it. And so at this point, I've already pinned the main fabric and the lining together. I'm just ironing the bust area to help mold both fabrics together and make sure they have the same shape. So this brings us to the end of part 1 of this tutorial. In the next video, I'll be continuing with the sewing and finishing of the corset. If you find this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video.